Okay, so I believe that you use this one. So we're going to use this one. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. This is Surah 3, Ayat 103. And it says, and hold fast all together by the rope which Allah stretches out for you, and be not divided amongst yourselves. And remember with gratitude Allah's favor on you, for you were enemies, and He joined your hearts in love, so that by His grace ye became brethren. And ye were on the brink of the pit of fire, and He saved you from it. Thus does Allah make His signs clear to you, that you may be guided. And let there arise out of you a band of people inviting to all that is good, enjoining what is right, and forbidding what is wrong. They are the ones to attain felicity. Sadaqallahu al-Adim. So that one's pretty self-explanatory in the basis of what it's saying. And I guess the reason I selected to read that one on the mutual benefits inside of marriage and the need for the mutual benefit is the idea of the rope and holding on to the rope and not being divided. Once again, they're such simple concepts in Quran, but they're very difficult to live with sometimes. And the not being divided is one that is said simply, even inside of our communities. But to have marriages in which you don't allow things to divide you, even when you disagree. Disagreements are not divides. Okay? Disagreements don't have to be divides. You can, I mean, we have disagreements all day long, right? I want pizza with some veggies on it. You may say, I want pizza with some cheese on it. That's just a disagreement. That's your choice. But it doesn't divide us because we both had pizza. So this rope that we're talking about and holding on to Allah is one that is similar to the very jugular vein that you have. It's the same thing. And that jugular vein is the one that is pumping all the blood to every other organ, right? It's like that big trespass to say, or that the main thoroughfare for blood. So your main thoroughfare for blood inside of a marriage is going to be the rope of Allah. And that rope is going to pull you into mutual things. So mutual doesn't mean the same. It's when you have mutual alliances and mutual things, it doesn't mean that you're literally doing the same thing. It means that there's an intersection on the things that you are doing and how you're thinking about things. So it is not meant for us to think the same. I actually don't think, I think that we shouldn't. Sometimes when I'm looking for somebody just like me, no you're not. Don't do it. Stop right there. I think, who was that I was telling? They were telling me, we are different. That's why it worked out. You were telling me that, right? You say, we are different. That's the big reason why it worked out. You know, you're a neat freak. I'm not. You're this. I'm not. You know, get two messy people together. Both of y'all gonna be pissed off. And saying the whole time, you messy. You're like, how you calling me messy again? Because somebody has to do the other thing where it's mutually beneficial. Because believe it or not, the extremely neat person, they need somebody to make a mess sometimes. I'm being serious that sometimes it can become too much. They like monk, you know. Yeah. You're like, let it go. It's okay because life is a mess sometimes. Life is not always in neat roles. So your physical environment and your non-physical environment, they're going to have that. And you need to know how to deal with life when it is a complete wreck. Guess what? The messy person knows how to do that. They just let it go. They do. The person who is not so neat, they like, please, let that go, child. It's going to be okay. Now, the neat person, sometimes you need a lot of order. And the neat person is like, you need to order that. We can't just let that thing just be like that. And that's necessary sometimes to pull it all together. But you have to see that it's mutually beneficial. You can't see it as someone trying to rule or dictate. You really have to see the benefit of both. There is no personality that Allah places on this earth that does not have benefit. I don't care whose it is. So when I find a person who is extremely A-type and I be like, I want you on my team because I'm not I'm serious. I say, I need you on my team. Because there's some things that I just don't focus on that I know you're going to focus on. The other person who is extremely creative and they're able to go completely outside of the realms of the box, they don't even know what a box is. I need that person on my team, but I also need that concrete person who is constantly saying, hold on, I really need to see how we're getting from point A to point B, right? The point A to point B person is the one who helps you to get from point A to point B, and the expansive person is the one who expands you from A to Z. So we see this mutually benefiting. Mutually benefiting is different, and then you see the mutual good in each other and what you're doing. So, and I was going to tell you all this one other thing. Oh, so some of the hadith that we gave up until now, from Imam Muslim and from Imam Vernon, one of them is saying marriage is half of the deen. So there are two hadith that's pulled from. One of them says that marriage is half the deen, and the other says that a righteous woman, that if Allah grants you a righteous woman, that is half of your faith. It's actually two, okay? So that's two pictures, two different pictures. And I'm oftentimes, because, once again, this is me thinking very literal, and then me also thinking non-literal. Imam Muhammad, rahimallahu alayhi, may Allah have mercy on him, there was, at one point when he was explaining the soul of the people, and just the individual person, he was explaining that it is that the individual person is masculine and feminine in themselves, right? That you as a person, you're both masculine and feminine. And that those two masculine and feminines coming together actually make four, right, instead of two. Because you really have both of them. I'm saying this because you need to know that you got both of them going on. So when you as a woman start operating with your masculine self, that you should be communicating with the feminine side of your husband. I mean, this is real. And that when you're operating with the feminine side of yourself, make sure it's communicating to the masculine portion of your wife. You don't want your feminine self talking to his feminine self. Because, boy, that's going to turn into, like two women fighting, What is that? I mean, it's serious. It's going to turn into a game. And then you don't want the masculine you talking to the masculine him. Because it's butting heads all day long. Right? Those are realities. See, sometimes we think, I always communicate as a woman. No. And for men to think I always communicate as a man. When guards are down, men are more open. And you communicate. You utilize portions of yourself that are very sensitive. This is what naturally happens. And women, in the nature of how you operate, especially when it comes to children and different things, you get very dominant in how you address the thing. And there's no room for movement. Do you see? I mean, this is real. You see yourself. Yeah.
Yes.
So you have to be conscious of that, and once again, seeing that those two things are meeting and mating in a mutual fashion still, and you being able to recognize that's not really a feminine process I'm using, right? And you're recognizing, yeah, she's like, boy, that's real kind of rough. I think you need to calm it down. So the hadith, when it says that half of the deen, and we know that deen is debt, half of your debt service to Allah, half of it, right? And half of you paying back your debt is in you recognizing proper relationships with the masculine and the feminine, and marrying with those relationships properly. So if the righteous woman, this Salihah woman, is half of the deen, that means that it's recognizing, one, what is a righteous woman? I mean, and sometimes I say that means me and myself, if I am a truly righteous woman in a physical sense, someone marrying me, that we got half of it done. That me. Now, once again, this is a big weight on the righteous woman. It's your job to choose the righteous woman. And it's your job to be the righteous woman. So both have a duty and an obligation. Right now, some of the sisters say, I'm trying to be the righteous woman, I'm just not being chosen. Ain't that what they say? What we saying, right? So, you know, I love to have these conversations about, oh, the men, they're the maintainers and protectors. And then you have to ask yourself, well, what's the obligation of the women? If men are maintainers and protectors, right? And I can do whatever I want to with my wealth, what is my responsibility? It mentions the righteous woman as half of the deen because that's it. Women carry the righteous spiritual life and lifeblood of entire communities. See, we always thought educating the men and having the imams, that was just such a great thing, right? No, it's the educated women that explode societies. It is not, you can have all the educated imams you want. And if you want a testament, look at our families. Look at our communities right now. The imams were sitting under Imam W.D. Muhammad all day long. And our communities look like this. Because the women have to be educated. And therefore they can live up to that righteous woman, that when they are married, that we've completed half of that debt and our faith carries us the rest of the way. So it's B. So the mutual responsibilities in the male and the female, yes, you have to supply every material thing that is needed for the life. And it is my job to explain what that life is. You supply everything that is needed for that life, and the woman is giving, what does that life look like? If the life doesn't look like how we want it, it's because we have to demand it. And it has to be mutually understood. So the other one, you know, that you use, it says that paradise lies at the foot of the mother. I'll save that one for tonight. I will. Because I think it fits more into, inshallah, what we'll talk about tonight. I think that's it. And does that pull us kind of back on time?
Yes.
Maybe?
Yes.
All right. Assalamu alaikum.